One thing that's helped out a lot for me with loneliness, I was just thinking about that this weekend. We do a lot of social things. There's always something going on the weekend. We didn't do that for years. And it was hard to do that when we had like small kids. When I was going through university, it was just really hard to do anything that was social because I was studying all the time. And the last few years, our weekends are, and it really has been only the last few years, now that I'm in my 40s, our weekends are starting to fill up, where we're doing things all the time. And I was just thinking about, like, I used to have some pretty bad bouts of loneliness, where I would just feel like, oh, what am I doing here? But I rarely feel like that anymore, right? Like never experience that sort of feelings of, I guess it's despair. I don't know. Like you just feel like not great. And it's because we're always doing something that's social with different groups of friends. And partly that has to do with my wife has been very good with keeping sort of social and filling up her schedule and stuff. I'm not necessarily a planner in that sort of way where I fill things up, but the lesson that is important to take away is, when you're feeling a kind of down, there's two things that sort of change who you are. The first thing is exercise. I'm good with that. That I can do. And then the second thing is just maintaining like a lot of social events and doing a lot of social things. And for me, like the going out and going to bars and meeting a whole bunch of people and all that kind of stuff never really did it for me. It wasn't my thing. Yeah, I did it. Like I went out and tried to do that kind of stuff, but just never really clicked. It wasn't my thing. I'm not like that kind of social person that will go up and just kind of meet random people and stuff. That didn't happen. But now what ends up happening works well is having that sort of core group of friends that we hang out with, or several groups of friends. We kind of have like several people that we hang out with on kind of I regularly sort of bump into them and that kind of stuff, and it just keeps things so busy that there's no time for loneliness. um, because you're always doing something, and by doing that, it's harder for me to work on the reciprocity project. So I used to. Um, there was moments, especially during COVID and things like that. Do a lot of writing on the blog, put things on there, work on it, sort of peter around with things, but it's harder to do any of that, because there's just more social things going on in my life. And that's actually been really a positive thing in a lot of ways, but obviously it takes away from work, and I want to get to work, but and do and much more in the reciprocity project, but it just doesn't happen. And I'm okay with that trade off, because I'm keeping going, keeping things. It just My life feels a lot more fulfilled when that happens, right? Like I feel like I want to get to work. Both the sort of my mainstream work and then doing this sort of reciprocity project, which I talk about a lot on this. But there's a lot that I want to get to. However, I'm happy that I don't get to it because I am spending time with mostly friends. I don't have a lot of family around here, but one thing that was really healthy, that came out of COVID for us, or for me, is that I have a family Zoom once a week now, and that never happened ever, 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 ever. It wasn't like a thing, but now it's a routine thing to check up and say hi to my family, and so that was a really positive thing that happened as a result of doing COVID and things like that. But that like that's another thing that sort of takes away. But it takes away in a positive way, right? Like it's all positive and all adds and makes me personally a healthier person. And then I'm more charged to do my mainstream work. I'm also more charged to keep going with the reciprocity project and feel okay with that, right? Like I think that's the important thing is remember, and I was probably using the wrong terminology. I was saying like take away from, but it's really not. It's actually adding to, right? It's making your life more fulfilled. And I think like that's the key thing to think about is what can you add into your life? You don't have to do one thing. I think that is the a poor outcome that has come out of economics. This is sort of idea of specialization. Yes, specialization works really, really well, and doing one thing works really, really well. But there is a lot of negative human things that result from that that we need to counteract. We need to make sure that we have social supports and making sure that we are part of a community and things like that, which are super important for all of us, right? Like specialization um, economically makes a lot of sense, but then there's all of these other things. And so if we are expendable, right, as a resource, we're sort of robotic, then yeah, okay, that makes sense. But if we're human beings, we need to make sure that we have a lot of crap going on in our life, like just a lot of stuff, doing all sorts of things all the time, making sure that we have a healthy life is very important. That there's always something going on. That's why I try, especially with this reciprocity. You know, you'll notice a lot of when I do this is downtime, right? Like when I'm sitting in the car, driving to work, and all of these kind of things. I'm just filling in the spots. I'm trying to make it part of my life, and less so much like this is a chore. Making it as like this is adding on to who I am. So you get to see that, and I think that's an important lesson: is that we can add on to things. We could do things a lot more if we simply just start trying these things and going and not worrying about it. So just realize that. Go into it knowing that you're a perfectly functional, good, amazing person, human being. And, you know, how you be a human being, you just start being, you start doing things, right? Like just get out and start doing things and not worry about what the outside world is going to say about you being silly and just having fun. That's okay, right? Like I think once you start getting into that, yeah, people do say things and all of that kind of stuff. But here's the thing, you're doing the thing that you want to do, right? So ignore all of that stuff. Just live your life. Have a try to put good out into this world as much as you can, and keep going. That's it. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.